One small word can completely change your meaning. Let's look at some commonly misused phrasal verbs and learn the correct way to use them. Let's start with fill in versus fill out. These two phrasal verbs are easy to confuse, but native speakers use them differently. Use fill in when you're writing information in a small space, like a blank or an empty line. For example, please fill in your name at the top of the page. Students should fill in the blanks with the correct verb. On the other hand, use fill out when you're completing an entire document, questionnaire, or application. For example, please fill out this job application before the interview. You'll need to fill out a registration form to join the course. A simple way to remember it is, fill in the blanks, but fill out the whole form. Next up, look for versus find. These two verbs are closely related, but they describe different stages of the same process. Use look for when you're actively searching for something you haven't found yet. For example, I'm looking for my keys. This tells us the search is still happening. On the other hand, use find when the search is over and you've successfully discovered what you were looking for. So you would say, I found my keys under the sofa. That's why saying I'm finding my keys sounds unnatural in most everyday situations. A simple way to remember it is this. Look for is the action, while find is the result. First, you look for your keys. Then, you find them. Next up is another pair that even advanced English learners often confuse: flesh out and flush out. Flesh out means to add more details or develop an idea until it's complete. Think of it as putting flesh on a skeleton. For example, we need to flesh out our business proposal before presenting it to investors. Here, you're making the proposal more detailed and complete. Now, flush out has a completely different meaning. It means to force someone or something out of hiding, or to uncover something that's hidden. For example, the investigation helped flush out the source of the fraud. Or, the police used search dogs to flush out the suspect. The nuance is simple. Flesh out is about developing or expanding an idea, plan, or story. Flush out is about revealing, exposing, or driving out someone or something that was hidden. Next up is another confusing pair, phase out and phase out. They sound almost identical, but they mean very different things. Phase out means to gradually stop using, producing, or doing something over time. It's commonly used in business, technology, and government. For example, the company plans to phase out plastic packaging by 2030. This means the company will reduce its use of plastic little by little until it's completely gone. Now, phase out is much less common. The verb phase means to disturb, unsettle, or make someone lose confidence. So while phase out is occasionally seen in informal speech, native speakers usually just say phase. For example, the criticism didn't faze her at all. It means the criticism didn't bother or shake her confidence. Here's the nuance. Phase out is about gradually ending something. Phase is about emotionally unsettling someone, and in most cases don't add out. Next up is a pair that many English learners mix up: check in and check up on. Check in means to make brief contact with someone to see how they're doing or to provide an update. It's often used for casual conversations between friends, family, or coworkers. For example, I just wanted to check in and see how you're feeling after your surgery. You're simply reaching out to ask how someone is doing. Now, check up on means to make sure someone or something is okay by actively monitoring or verifying their condition. It often suggests a greater sense of responsibility or concern. For example, the nurse checked up on the patient several times during the night. Or, I'll check up on the kids while they're playing outside. Here's the nuance. Check-in is a friendly, casual contact. You're reaching out. Check up on is monitoring or making sure everything is okay. You're taking a closer look, often because you're responsible for that person or situation. Next up is another pair of phrasal verbs that are easy to confuse. Pass up and pass on. Pass up means to decline or miss an opportunity, usually one that could be valuable or beneficial. For example, she couldn't pass up the chance to study abroad, or I passed up the job offer because it required relocating. In both cases, someone chose not to take an opportunity. Now, pass on has several meanings, but one of the most common is to give something to another person or relay information. For example, could you pass on this message to Sarah? Or, my grandfather passed on his love of music to me. It can also mean to decline an offer. For example, I'll pass on dessert tonight. Here's the nuance. Pass up means to turn down or let an opportunity go by. Pass on usually means to transfer something to someone else, but it can also mean to politely refuse an offer, depending on the context. Next up is another pair that's often confused: work out and work through. Work out has several meanings, but one of the most common is to solve a problem or find a solution. For example, we finally worked out a way to reduce costs. Now, work through means to deal with a problem, emotion, or difficult process step by step until it's resolved. The focus isn't on the final answer, it's on the journey. For example, she's working through her anxiety with the help of a therapist. Or, let's work through the math problem together. Here, you're carefully going through each step instead of jumping straight to the solution. Here's the nuance. Work out focuses on the result. You solve the problem or reach a solution. Work through focuses on the process. You patiently deal with challenges, emotions, or complex tasks one step at a time. Those were some of the most commonly confused phrasal verbs in English. I hope these examples help make the differences clear. Stay tuned for more videos that help you speak English more naturally. And if you found this video useful, don't forget to leave a comment, give it a like, and subscribe for more English tips. See you in the next video.